Let's talk Tanya for the 15th of Sivan of a leap year. Let's summarize where we're holding. We've introduced the concept of perpetual creation. We've explained that the implication of perpetual creation is Ein Oid Milvade, that really there's nothing other than Hashem, and all of creation is just being projected into existence at every moment. And the fact that we don't feel that, and the fact that we feel ourselves to be independent existences, and we feel ourselves to be to have an identity, is because of the name of Elokim, or God's Gevura, which conceals the reality, which is that Ein Oid Milvadi, that everything is nothing but a projection from God. The problem is that if we take this at face value, then it turns out that really everything is just Havaya. Everything is just God's creative energy. And Elokim, or God's Gevura, is only there to hide the reality from us. But the reality is that there's nothing but God. If there's nothing but God and the world really doesn't exist, then are we important? Is anything that we do important? Why should I bother studying Torah? Why should I do mitzvahs? After all, there is nothing but God. I'm an optical illusion. So to answer this question, the Alter Rebbe introduces a Cabalistic concept called Oiros and Kalim. Oiros and Kalim translates literally as Oiros is light and Kalim is the vessels. And in Kabbalah, we talk about how throughout the Ishtalshalos, throughout the system of worlds, there's the light, there's the vessels. And translating that for the purposes of our conversation, the light over here would be God's creative powers. That is the light that extends from God. The Kalim, the vessels, a vessel is that which conceals the light, is the name of Elokim, which conceals that light so that we're able to exist and we're able to sense ourselves as independent entities. Now, one of the classic examples of vessels of Kalim, which is brought down in Kabbalah many times, is that of words. Words are Kalim. Words are vessels. What is a word? What are words? When you string together a bunch of words and you make a sentence, a paragraph, is you're taking these words are vessels for your thoughts and your ideas. So words, oisios, words or letters, they are vessels. They contain within them spiritual content. But we already know that the creation of everything is through God's words. Ba'asara mamaris nivra olam, through the 10 utterances with which God created the worlds. So now we're confused. We thought that creation is from the light, and the vessels are only there to conceal. But now it turns out that the creation is actually through the vessels, or through the name of Elokim. Which is it? And the Alter Rebbe explains that yes, the job of the vessels is to conceal, but that's not its only job. The vessels aren't only there to present an absence. They actually also do something constructive, which is the vessels are what channel the light and allow that light to become the creation that we have in all its multiplicity and variety. The example that's brought down for this in Kabbalah is, example, you have light, but imagine you have a flashlight and you can put in front of it a lens, and now if it's a red lens, the light becomes red. If it's a green lens, the light becomes green. The same thing is also these vessels, or the name of Elokim, it's not only conceals God, but it actually gives all of creation its individual identity. So, as it turns out, Elokim and the words they don't only do something which is, you might want to say, create a void or create a concealment. They're actually accomplishing something which is, from the perspective of the name of Elokim, creating something which actually has some sort of form and identity. It is this form and identity which when we do mitzvahs and we learn Torah, we are elevating it. So yes, because of the name of Elokim, there actually is a world that is a reality. Because it's not only a concealment, Elokim not only conceals, it actually also creates things. Based on this, which we just explained in today's Tanya, and also in the last few days, we'll be able to have a much deeper understanding of a somewhat puzzling statement of our sages, which we'll introduce, God willing, in tomorrow's Tanya.